Hello everyone, my name is Antoinette. I did my project on temperament in childhood and adolescence. To begin with, I did what is temperament. Temperament is a person's characteristic inborn style of dealing with the world around them. Temperament styles were classified into three main groups: easy, slow to warm up, and difficult. Easy was when children had rhythmic eating and sleeping patterns, they were happy and easily soothed. Slow to warm up were children who were more wary of their situations and environments. It took them a little longer to open up to others, things like that. Difficult were the children who were hypersensitive, unusually agitated, and reactive to every sight and sound. There was a study that I found that was done on pre-adolescent gender differences among temperaments. This study involved boys and girls from ages 8 to 12. What they had to do was they had two self-reported questionnaires which were completed by themselves. One was on temperament and one was on coping. Temperament was compared on three dimensions. One was positive, negative, effectivity, and effortful control. The study results showed that girls did score higher than boys on the first two dimensions. Results also showed that gender-specific vulnerability to depression in girls was visible before adolescence, and that could possibly be linked to temperament and coping. So basically that just says that it tells us everyone has their own temperament, although there could be some commonalities among those with the same gender, such as girls being more similar to girls, males more similar to males. So temperament in childhood, determining a child's temperament can really be difficult sometimes. It just depends on how they act, how they feel during that day. It can be really difficult. Parenting can possibly be an influence on the way the child's temperament is learned and how they grow. And also some temperaments in children can cause it to be very difficult on some parents, and that could lead to the change in the way they teach their children, they pay attention to their children, things like that. Also, environmental factors and experiences that may influence one's temperament among children could include learning to interact with others, they're experiencing new places, they're seeing new things, meeting new people, things like that. Temperament and personality characteristics. Temperament can be associated with personality growth and changes from childhood to adolescence. Temperament can also be associated with development of coping skills for things such as stress and depression. Temperament and personality traits. Temperament traits are the whole of personality in infancy. They form a subset of personality differences in both later childhood and adulthood. Whereas personality refers more inclusively to people's way of behaving, thinking, feeling in certain ways, different in situations. And neither temperament nor personality traits are formed on only nature or nurture, they are affected by both. It's never just one or the other. Temperament in adolescence could be a little different than that in childhood. Temperament may change slightly or drastically depending for each child. Reason being could be what they've experienced, where they live, where they're hanging out, who they're hanging out with, things like that. Some theorists believe that this may also be due to newly acquired structures, cognitive structures that one gains as they get older. And these structures influence the way that children and adolescents interact with their environment around them. Temperament in adolescence continued in most cases. One's temperament can change from childhood to adolescence, not always. Some kids do tend to stay somewhat the same and consistent in their temperament and personalities. Due to experience and environmental factors among adolescents, it's a little different than childhood. Some factors could be peer influences among their friends. Some could be family influences, maybe moving from one place to another, starting in a new school, things like that. Children will begin to grow and see more of the world around them, causing them to change the way they think and go about doing things. So in the end, these are my resources. But just to conclude this presentation, there are some similarities and some differences among temperament as one grows older. I didn't touch on any adult factors, but environment and experience basically has a lot to do with how one grows and how one starts to change within their life and their temperament. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.